Hey everyone, Paul Pomerleau here. Welcome to my workshop. If you remember on my last video, I turned logs into lumber. Today, we're going to take a piece of that lumber and we're going to finish it so we can use it on any project. I will show you step by step how we're going to do this. And then at the end, I'm also going to take a piece of firewood and we'll do the same thing. Now we're going to need 3 specialty pieces of equipment in order to do this. And not everyone has these, so not everyone's going to be able to do it. I'll use this piece of maple on each machine step by step. So let's get started. The first piece of equipment we're going to start with is the table saw. Now this piece of wood is not flat. It wobbles around. It doesn't matter which way you put it, it's going to move on you. I want to create one straight edge, and usually I take away the bark. So I want to be able to cut a line right down, just skimming the edge of the bark. It's not safe to use a fence because the wood is not flat, because this edge isn't square, it's going to jam on you. So what I do is I have a small piece of plywood with a runner on the back, and it goes in my miter slot. And I'm going to use this with the wood on top of it, and I'm going to center it, I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to hold it down in one way that the whole thing can slide into the blade and cut a nice edge right along the edge of the bark. The next device we're going to use is a jointer. Its job is to create one perfectly flat face and a square edge to that face. That's it. So we're going to feed the wood through, and you will be able to see at the end where the blade is cutting and where it's missing. And you'll be able to hear it. You'll hear the blade cutting at one part and missing at the other. So you keep going, keep passing the wood through until you hear it cutting all the way across. Then you know that is perfectly flat. Then I'll take that flat face, I'll put it up against the fence, and I'll do the same thing with the edge. This way it's going to be perfectly 90 degrees and perfectly flat. So now we've got a nice flat face and a flat edge perfectly 90 degrees to it. Look at the grain on this compared to the other side. It's absolutely beautiful. And now we want to plane down the top face. We can't use the jointer for that because we want it to be absolutely parallel with the bottom face. And the only thing that's going to do that is a thickness planer. Now that we got nice flat faces and a square edge, I'm going to use my table saw with the fence, and I'm going to cut off the final edge, making it perfectly parallel and square to this side. Then I'll use my table saw sled and we'll trim off the ends, making everything nice and square. Well, there it is. What started out as a log is now a beautiful piece of maple. Look at the grain on that. I absolutely love it. Next, we're going to try the same thing with this piece of elm. I've never worked with firewood before. I may have to use the bandsaw for this because it's a little thicker than what the table saw can handle. But let's see what we can end up with. So we got a nice piece of maple and a few pieces of the elm. They turned out not too bad. Saved it from the fire pit, and I'm going to make something with them. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Have a nice day, be safe, and we'll see you next time.